Hey guys, it's Alyssa from AlyssaMilani.com. Welcome back to my channel, and welcome to another installment of Build a Better Year 2020. We've already gone through several topics in this series. I've been going through this for the past several weeks, and so far we have covered the following topics. 1, how to do a brain dump and set life priorities. 2, how to choose a planner or planner system if you use multiple planners for 2020. 3, how to set resolutions and goals. 4, how to choose a word and verse for the year. 5, how to write a mission statement for yourself. 6, how to put together a vision board for 2020. And then 7, what was 7? Oh yeah, how to put together a self-care survival kit for 2020. Now originally that was it. I just planned on doing those 7 videos and that was going to be the series. But then I decided to ask y'all in the community section of my YouTube page if there was anything else you wanted me to talk about. And one of the requests that I got became the 8th installment, which was going through the prep work of my power sheets. And if you have not seen that video yet and you're using power sheets for 2020, then it's there for you to watch if you are interested. I just went through all the prep pages and showed you kind of how I went through that. And then on camera, I set up my 2020 goals on the goal section of power sheets. If you have no idea what power sheets are, you can also check out a video in the description where I unbox them and show you, give you a walkthrough of what power sheets are and what it looks like and all of that. So if you're on the fence, number 1, if you're on the fence about using power sheets, I cannot speak highly enough about them. I talk about them often. And then 2, if you've not heard of power sheets, check it out. And whichever one of those 2 you are, you're gonna kind of have to make a decision soon because power sheets are selling out. 2 of the 4 covers as of this recording are already sold out. So you only have 2 more options before they're gone. And so anyway, I highly encourage you to check them out. And you'll find the links to the series so far and my power sheets unboxing and a link to the power sheets themselves, the shop, the Cultivate shop, in the description. You can check all of that out if you're interested. Okay, so now it's video number 9, and you already know the title of the video and what I'm going to be talking about, but the other request, or another request that I got, was if I could go through my 2020 planner stack and kind of review what worked and what didn't work and kind of give you my take on that. And that will then inform, as you might imagine, what I'm going to be choosing for 2020, or what I have already chosen. So in this video, I'm going to be doing my kind of planner year in review, and then in the next video on Thursday, I'm going to be talking about my 2020 planner stack, which of course is an exciting video in this community. So stay tuned for that, but for now, let's go ahead and get started talking about those 2019 planners. All right, so the first planner that I talked about in my 2019 planner stack was my beautiful purple A5 FILOFAX MALDEN. I love this planner, you guys. It was definitely an investment when it comes to buying planners, but I love this binder so much. And when I set it out for 2019, it was supposed to be my project planner. And I actually had to go and watch the video to figure out what I originally set this up for. And it was supposed to be my project planner. And it was going to house any long-term projects that had to do with home, marriage, my blog and YouTube channel, church activities. I don't know why I insist on counting this way because I have a hard time with this. Anyway, church activities, personal projects, and then I had a section for notes. Now, as you can imagine, by the very simple fact that I had to go and review the video to figure out what I had set this baby up for, I abandoned that purpose and used it for something else. And what I ended up using this for, what I ended up setting it up for, is my blog planner. And I think I've spoken about this before, earlier this year, after, the beginning of the year. Anyway, and it functioned better this year as a planner to keep track of my blog and YouTube channel. And so having a planner just for projects is a really good idea. However, it just didn't work in this sense. And it's been so long I actually don't remember why. But that could also just be indicative of the fact that it was not a memorable, wonderful, functional experience for me. The fact that I don't really remember. I believe I was using DIY fish inserts. Actually, that makes sense now, because DIY Fish has project planning inserts. And I love DIY Fish inserts. I'll have the shop linked below. I've used them off and on for the past couple of years, and I love them. It's just the way I had it set up just was not working for whatever reason. So this was the first planner in my stack. It has since been repurposed as my blog and YouTube planner. I'll talk about how that's going to work out in 2020 in the next video, so hang tight for that. All right, the next planner that I had in my stack was personal rings, and the binder that I was using at the time was like a dark navy blue Michael's Recollections personal size binder, which I really liked. I enjoyed that. Shortly after the new year, maybe like February, I switched to a FILOFAX domino. It's a personal FILOFAX domino. You've seen me bring this out a few times, and this is where my personal rings have lived for the rest of the year. I don't think I went back to that Recollections at all. I actually ended up sometime this summer, fall, ended up de-ringing that Recollections so that I could put my Stalogy in it because I didn't have a cover at the time. And it fit well. It just got a little messy because I didn't de-ring it very well. I just kind of slashed through. Anyway, it was a mess. So anyway, personal rings. This was my everyday carry. And I've been using Peanuts Planner Co. inserts. My comments at the beginning of the year were that I didn't think I was going to use rings ever again, personal rings, because I thought I didn't like personal rings. But the reality was that I like the size, but the inserts were the problem for me. And so when I switched to Peanuts Planner Co. inserts, it did actually work pretty well. And I still like personal rings. I really, really do. I will talk to you about why this might change later on. Okay, the next planner, or actually planners that I kind of took out, were my traveler's notebooks. This is my Prima Marketing Traveler's Notebook. If you guys have been following me for some time, you've probably seen this one. I started out my channel in this baby. And I actually set up my James study for Club 119 in this binder, or notebook. But at the beginning of the year, I had designated it to be my blog and YouTube writing planner. So any content that I was writing out was happening in here. And that didn't last very long. So when I chose this to be my blog and YouTube planner, this kind of moved into this and I wasn't writing in this anymore, which is why I repurposed it for Club 119. Now the other traveler's notebook that I was using was an actual Midori traveler's notebook. Somewhere in my office, I couldn't find it for this video. And that was supposed to be my creative journal because I needed to do more creative journaling, more just writing diary entries. That's something that I used to do as a young adult, as a teenager, and the older I got, the less and less I did it. And so I decided, hey, this is the year I'm going to get back into it. I have journaled more this year than I have in years past. However, it did not stay in my Midori. So that's another change that happened, and I'll explain how this is going to look in 2020. Okay, you guys. I said that I had to review my 2019 planner stack video to make sure that I remembered everything. Y'all, I completely forgot about this binder. This is a half size, just basic Avery binder that I set up to be my finance binder, you guys. I totally forgot about this. It has been sitting on my bookshelf for the past several months because I kind of abandoned it. And this is where, okay, This is where discipline comes in. Okay, y'all have heard me talk about discipline in the past, and I'll get more into it, but basically I just stopped recording what I was supposed to record. So it wasn't really necessarily the planner or the binder's fault. This one is completely, totally on me. Now, when I talk about my 2020 stack, I will tell you how I am currently, as of December 2019, recording finances, and then what I am planning as of right now to do in 2020, okay? So yeah, we'll see. Okay, lastly in my stack was this gorgeous disc-bound notebook system that was housing my Reading Life Planner. The Reading Life Planner is a planner of my own. You can buy it in my shop on my blog, and it is a planner that does just exactly what it sounds like it does, and it's for tracking and planning your reading life. And so it's a planner just for book lovers, and this is what I was housing it in. What I discovered is that doing it in full size isn't the best for me. I have it available in full size because, people might like more space, but I actually prefer it in the half size. And so I have the exact same planner ready to go for 2020. It's just in half size, disc-bound system. Same brand. This is a Martha Stewart binder or notebook, and I just have her half size one for 2020. And I was kind of hoping not to have to admit this, but I didn't do a very good job keeping track of my reading because my reading year, while I got the quantity for the most part, I still have I don't know if I'm going to reach 50. December is quickly going, and I don't know if I'm going to reach 50, but I'll be in the 40s, which is great. 50 was my goal. I'll be in the 40s. And while I'm getting the quantity, the quality of my reading hasn't been what I wanted it to be, and I haven't been doing a very good job of keeping track of it in the planner the way I designed it to be. So that's not a fault of the planner. I think it's a great system. It's a fault of me and my lack of discipline, just being honest. Now, if you've been following me for a while, you may remember that I did an updated planner stack for the year. So it was in the summer. I kind of revamped my planner stack. I'd kind of fallen in a bit of a funk when it came to planning, and I decided to switch things up. So I took some things away. I had already repurposed some other things, and I added some things too. So I had added the Passion Planner at the time, and the reason why I chose the Passion Planner was because I really wanted to get into time blocking. And I think this is a really great planner, by the way. I'll have a link to the website below. It's a really great setup, and if I was in school, I probably would be using the Passion Planner. Probably. School, working a full-time job, that kind of thing. But I wanted to time block, so you can see your week on 2 pages, your times, some places where you can take specific kind of notes, a free note section here, and then some information that you can write here. Great setup, and it's got a month on 2 pages. This one is the undated version, and so it has all 12 months, I think, at the beginning. I believe it has all of your months at the beginning, and then it goes into your weeks. It also has spaces for reflections. I've never done a review of this. I've never gone through and walked through this with y'all on the channel because I was really just experimenting, and I didn't really have much to say definitively. But it does have reflections. It has a half, what am I trying to say? It has a review that you can do halfway through the year, I believe. Yeah, a mid-year roadmap. I actually did talk about my mid-year roadmap. So I went through this process with you. But the rest of the planner I haven't really talked about. But yeah, it's a really, really great planner. I enjoyed it. But I didn't follow through with it. Part of that I think is discipline, and part of that I think is setup. So while I highly enjoyed this planner, I didn't finish the year out in it. But that is one planner that I did use in my planner stack. That I added to my planner stack mid-year. The other planner that I added to my stack is a Wordsworth planner. I did a review of that earlier this year. I was going to use it for blog and YouTube just to see if I liked it, because it is a bound book, and I was trying to figure out, do I like bound books like this, or do I prefer something that has rings or discs like this, you know? And you'll see how that's going to play out in 2020. I'll just leave it at that. And then after the summer, and I updated my planner stack, I added one more planner. And this, I did a whole walkthrough of the setup of this. This is my Classy Lady planner. And this is where I was going to keep track of all things that had to do with personal self-care and self-development. And I really love the idea of this planner. I do plan to use it into 2020. I just need to make some tweaks as I update my planner system and figure out how everything is going to work together. But I do plan to keep this for 2020. I just have to get it together and make some changes. So those are the planners that made up my planning life for 2019. And honestly, I have yet to experience a year of planning where I started out, excuse me, with one thing and ended with that same thing. You know, it's just ended with what I started. And I haven't been doing planning in this way for a very long time, so I'm still learning how my brain engages on paper. But here's what I will say. My biggest challenge or struggle for 2019 has been keeping track of things and archiving. So, and this is me. This is solely me. This has nothing to do with there being, you know, something wrong with the system. It is me and how I engage with the system, okay? So I want you to remember, if you are still kind of trying to figure things out, know that it could work for 150,000 other people, and if it doesn't work for you, that doesn't mean there's anything wrong with the system, and it doesn't necessarily mean there's anything wrong with you, but putting those two things together just may not, you know, be the magic you're looking for, right? So when it comes to things that have removable pages like rings or discs, mostly rings, you're not supposed to necessarily fit a whole year of everything in a size like this, okay? And if you're working in a size like this can be, depending on what you carry around with you, a little too bulky to carry with you everywhere and be your everyday carry, okay? And so, and I actually said that in my 2019 video when I was doing my planner stack. So what ends up happening is you might carry a half a year or a quarter of all your things. If you've got work and personal and projects and, you know, kids and whatever and all of the things, you probably will only be able to carry, you know, maybe all your months, but only a month's worth of, or a month's worth of days and a quarter's worth of weeks or something like that. You get what I'm saying. And so what ends up happening is that you have to then take pages out, catalog them or archive them, and then put new ones in. That's the part that I'm not good at. I'm not good at cataloging or archiving pages and then having them in such a place where I can refer back to them you know, later in the year. So, you know, if it's July and I need to figure out, I need to find information that I had back in April, I didn't have that set up. Thus, it kind of fell apart on me, and I just have these random pages in a box and no way to be able to reference them at ease. Same thing goes with my traveler's notebooks. I have been in a standard traveler's notebook and I've been in personal traveler's notebooks. And I fall into the same problem where while I love the inserts, I love Peanuts Planner Co., I love Annie Plans Printables, I love DIY Fish. Those are the three main shops that I buy from. And while I love their setups, archiving them has always been an issue for me. And again, there's nothing wrong with the systems or the shops or the inserts or anything like that. And there's not necessarily anything wrong with me. It's just I have not been able to make this intersection of the two work in a planner system. So, having said all that, what I learned and what the conclusion that I've come to is that for 2020, that's a challenge that I don't necessarily want to address, because I don't have to. If I had a problem with it in 2019 and it just wasn't working for me, then that means that I need to change something. And so my choices are, I either change the planner system itself or I find a way to archive. And I decided, you know what, I really like trying new things. I really like trying new planners. So I'm going to go with trying something new. Not that I shouldn't figure out how to archive, because I should, but I want to try something new. The other thing that I wanted was I wanted a bound book. So here we go, bound book that had everything, like had all my days in it. And if you've watched my past few videos, you've heard me talk about how, especially my last video, when I did the seasons of planning, what I've learned is that I really need those days. I really need those days. You guys, I really need those days. I can't say that enough. And I don't say that to you to emphasize that to you. I say it to myself to emphasize myself, because I really have been pushing back against that. And I need those days. So I decided, instead of doing this, where I have to change pages out every so often, let me just have all my days in one place. So I chose a daily planner that has all the days, 360, it's actually I think 366, because I think next year is a leap year, I think. So it has all the days of the year, has my months, and then I have a separate weekly, and I'll go into all of that and how that's going to work. But so I've learned the whole archiving thing, just I haven't gotten a grip on that. I need better structure for my days, right? The other thing that I figured out, I'm looking at all my planners here. The other thing that I figured out is I really, while I love exploring and trying new things, and while I do definitely perk up when I see, you know, launches and all that kind of stuff, Happy Planner's coming out with new whatever, and you know, whatever, all the different shops and stuff. And oh gosh, bullet journaling still calls to my planner spirit, you guys. Anyway, talk about that later. While all of that goes on in my head, what I really need is simplicity. And one of the reasons why I chose classy as my word of the year is because part of being classy and part of being sort of refined is simplicity. There's beauty in simplicity. There's beauty in brevity, which is a skill that I have yet to learn when it comes to speaking. There's beauty in minimalism. And while I'm not a minimalist in the true sense of the word, I would like less noise and clutter in the way that I do things. And that has to do with planning. It has to do with the way I take care of my home. It has to do with the way that I conduct myself, the way that I dress. You know, I want to be able to look at my closet and see, you know, a rhythm to my wardrobe. You know, these are the kinds of things that I seek as I step into a new decade of life. And so simplicity is something that's really attractive to me right now. And I want to set up my planner system in that way. And so I hope that I can kind of carry this throughout next year with the way I've set that up. And I will be sharing that with you in the next video later this week. Okay, I think I'm looking at everything here. I think this is it. That's my year in review. And those are my thoughts on how the year went. I am grateful that I went on the journey I was on, and I'm grateful for the experience, and I'm grateful for the things that I tried. What I'm most grateful is the conclusion I've come to now at the end of the year, and realizing what it is I really need to work on. And I've alluded to this and I've spoken about this before, but really the way we plan is an extension of how we live our life in I wouldn't say like as a whole, but maybe in some ways, right? I talk about how bad planning habits for me are just an extension of my regular bad habits. And so good practice and good habits and good routines are, if they're in our planning life, then they might, most likely, I don't want to generalize too much, but could potentially be just an outpouring of what you're doing well in your life in general. So, and that's what I'm striving for. That's what I'm pushing towards. And so I hope this has been beneficial. And what I want you to take away from this is asking yourself, what worked well this year? What are your needs? Evaluating those needs, right? Because our needs change from season to season. And those seasons can be any number of days or months or whatever. And so what are you needing for this season? And how can you best function on paper so that you are not adding stress to your life, so that you are able to keep track of the things that you need to keep track of, and so that you're able to pursue the things that are important to you for the year. And so make sure that you're asking yourself these questions as you're putting together your system or whatever it is for the year. And make sure that as you're looking back that you can pick out the lessons that you needed to learn. And so that's all I have for you guys today. I hope this has been beneficial. Like I said, if you have any questions about any of the planners that I've talked about, please leave them in the comments below, and stay tuned for my next video where I talk to you about what I'm using for 2020. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great rest of the day, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.